Dawson Show at the World Center of Broadcast Media, WCOBM.com. My name is Guy Dawson, and I am the managing member of Classic Communications, a full-service media and marketing company. And if you would like to bring greater recognition to your business, your organization, or yourself personally, please get in contact with us at 702-845-6129 or visit our website, classiccommunications.net. The Guy Dawson Show is coming to you live from the World Center of Broadcast Media at the Gene Woods Racing Experience in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, just a stone throw. Woo! From the Las Vegas Strip, and I have Corinth Turvalon, the co-hostess with the mostest and the queen of all media, and I never know. I keep saying I never know what to expect with you. Are you going to hijack me? Aren't you?
I got to keep you on your toes, Guy. That's my job.
Well, welcome back as a co-hostess.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to interview you, Cynthia, in regards to your book. It sounds like really interesting material.
Yes, we are speaking today with Cynthia DeBoer, and she is the author of Me, Myself, and I. Isn't this a wonderful cover? And
that's beautiful.
And
that is a beautiful cover.
The whole concept of her book, my company has been working with her recently on public relations and marketing, and it's just so exciting, Cynthia, to get you in the studio to talk about this phenomenal book.
Thank you so much. I kind of refer to it as a informational mini memoir, in that the information in there is only about me when a lesson could be learned, or I could share some information to help someone go through the loss of a prosthetic eye. And there's a lot that a person will go through that is not available to most people. My goal by writing this is to make sure it's in 16-point font so that it's easy for people that are visually challenged to read. It's only 104 pages, and it's packed with all kinds of information to help people understand the realities of what life is like when you have a prosthetic eye. It's a bit of a taboo subject. Not many people want to talk about it. It's pretty hard to sit there and say, yes, I want to share the fact that one of the windows to my soul is now a man-made piece of plastic. That's not something that most people want to, they don't want to talk about it. And it's like anything else. They don't want to talk about it a lot of times because in the back of their minds there's a fear. What if that's me? What if that would happen to me? And so if you don't acknowledge it, it doesn't exist. So that's another reason that I refer to it as a taboo subject, because it is hard for people to discuss. Me, Myself, and I was written, the name actually came to me in a dream. The Me, Myself, and I is the blending of me, the physical body, myself, the emotional mind, and I, the prosthesis, into a healthy and confident, complete being. Because we're not just one thing. And if we ignore the emotional side of us, we lose a lot. To make it through any journey, in my opinion, you need three things. You need knowledge that will give you compassion and understanding for what you're going through, because we all want to be understood. Anything that we do, we want to understand why we're doing it. The second thing is a sense of humor. I'm blonde. I've heard about every blonde joke you can imagine. I have one eye. And up until recently, I walked with a cane, and maybe doing that again soon. But so blonde, one-eyed, blind jokes. I am a host to whatever you want to joke about. And if I didn't have a sense of humor about myself, I would really be lost about it. And I kind of jokingly say this, but I really do mean it. I mean, it comes to a point where everybody wants to be so politically correct that when is a time that it's going to be not okay to go out and pretend you're a pirate with one patch because you're making fun of one-eyed people? Oh my, just get a sense of humor about yourself. And the last thing, and the most important in my mind, is faith. You have to have faith that this is going to challenge you in a way that you are going to be able to develop your inner strength. You're going to be able to help other people, and you're going to be able to make it through this thing stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than when you started.
So what is the mission and purpose behind you writing this book?
The mission behind this is to let people know that they are not alone. 10 to 12,000 people a year lose an eye according to the Society for the Prevention of Blindness. I want them to know that they're not alone, and I want to give them the information that will help them succeed and to find their inner strength. And that's what the goal of the book is. That's the mission. I want to be able to present this. There isn't a lot of information out there. Most libraries, except for 2 in the Vegas Valley that now have my book, have no information at all on prosthetic eyes. None. It is not out there. The majority of the people losing an eye right now are older, and a lot of them are not quote-unquote internet surfers, so there's nothing available for them. And that's my goal, is to go out and talk to as many people as I can to spread the word that this is a subject that's okay to share. You're okay to say, hey, you know what? Today is just a really crappy day. You know, my eye's bugging me. This is going on. I have 14 papers I have to read, and my existing eye is just too tired to do it. You know, you have to be gentle with yourself, and you have to understand that, like anything else, like any other quote-unquote handicap, it's up to you. A handicap is described as an added benefit or not. You get to decide if this handicap is going to give you something to use to help other people, to inspire them to know that no matter what they're going through, it's okay and you'll get through it. The other side of this is to let people know that you are going to go through the 7 stages of grief. Grief is a big part. You're going to go through phantom pain if you lose a limb or an organ, which is an eye. Phantom pain is something that nobody ever talked to me about. The first time it happened to me, walking through the mall, having a lovely little day, and all of a sudden somebody stabbed me in my left eye and I dropped to the ground. That's what it felt like. I turned around to see who had just attacked me. There was nobody there. I kept it to myself because my family was already concerned about my medical conditions. And now I'm going to go up to him and I'm going to say, by the way, I'm Cook-a-Bird. You know. Now you got to worry about that too. So I kept it to myself, and until about 12 years after that, I finally met a man who was just a godsend to me. His name was Richard, and he had lost his legs, both of his legs, in a train accident. And I had become really good friends with him and his family. And he said, I asked him one day, how do you deal with this? This has got to be hard. And he's like, well, you know what? I'm strong, I can do this, I can do that, but it's the phantom pain that gets to me. I'd never heard of it in my life. I literally was flooded with tears. That was just such a release of anxiety and worry. I didn't know about it. I do not want anyone else to have to experience that. That was horrible. And my book talks about it. And it tells people it's okay. If this happens, yeah, it's going to shock you. I mean, it's worse than anybody sneaking up on you. I mean, the feeling is as real as it gets. Your mind is an amazing thing. And a loss is a loss. And you have to be kind and gentle with yourself. And you have to get as much knowledge as you can. So my mission is to go out and talk and tell everybody, this is how it is.
Yeah, I think that people really enjoy books that are all about the recognition of what they're experiencing and being able to share that with other people. And I think that that's what this book is all about, as you were saying before. It's more of a call to action that, hey, there's somebody out here that understands what you're going through, and most people, they appreciate that.
I believe so. I know that when someone opens up to me and talks about that, it's definitely something that it just makes us feel more human. It makes us feel more connected. I mean, we all are, but with the way things are nowadays and everybody is just going a million directions, it's hard to find that inner peace sometimes. And it's vitally important. It's so important to connect with somebody. I was in a restaurant the other night, and there were a man and a wife, man and woman, 2 kids. Everybody was on their own individual devices. Nobody's talking to anybody. Nobody's connecting. So to even be able to connect with a total stranger and share something about yourself, that is the greatest gift ever is to be able to share that. And we just don't do that much anymore. And I think that that's a real part of the mission. And for me, it was really hard. I mean, I was always had lots of medical issues, born with heart problems, born with glaucoma, born with all kinds of things. And at a certain age, when you get the worried looks from mom and dad and the sisters kind of wondering what's going on, you learn really quickly that you're going to become that tough little soldier that never shares. And so this book was a real challenge for me to be able to come out and share that, because most people did not know I had a prosthetic eye. I talk about camouflaging. I talk about what you can do to, draw attention to other parts of your face and your body, and to come right out and say, hey, I have this. Book has been endorsed by doctors and ocularists. I actually had my doctor and oculars edit the book before it was ever published, so the information in there is accurate. It's not just, oh, I did through this and there's no real medical value to it. There is. Ocularists are people that actually make prosthetic eyes. The field now is called medical artistry. It's amazing. These people, they give a person a chance to be whole again. I mean, they're incredible. It really moves me to even think about them, because when you go through that loss, you're looking at, what am I ever going to be desirable? Am I ever going to da-da-da-da-da, And it's a little bit different between men and women, because, most guys, when they get together, they show each other their scars, and it's, wounds and hero stuff and all of that. But women are not like that so much. We're always trying to fit into the perfect mold of the perfect American woman, and every magazine we pick up is telling us, well, we can improve if we do this or that. And guys' magazines are usually, hey, go ride a motorcycle, go get ripped, go do this, go do that. And it's fun stuff. And I want to make sure that people understand that this is not going to prevent them from being the best they can be, from being the absolute above that even, because this loss is not a loss in the sense that it's making you less of a person. You're growing, you're improving, your inner body, it's just amazing. And I never would have guessed that.
I do have a question for you. I actually have a personal friend of mine who, her son is actually living with retinoblastoma, of course, going through chemotherapy and that kind of thing. Lost one of his eyes. He's now 3 years old, and she's working on getting him a prosthetic eye. What kind of advice, or if you could speak to the camera and let them know your advice, your help, and maybe even speak to him directly to say, hey, this is what I would have told my 3-year-old self, kind of going through, working with those struggles as you were growing up.
Well, I would say that you are not alone. He probably doesn't remember Peter Falk, but Peter Falk lost one of his eyes due to cancer, and you can make it through. I mean, there's little things that you can do, but it makes you a special person. It makes you somebody that is going to experience life in a different way. You can be the greatest inspiration to all of your classmates. You can share that. You can become even stronger and better than you ever were before. My advice is to research. Find the best ocularist that you can. There are 3 located here in Las Vegas, and there's a couple that are really good that I really like. Not going to say any names here, but just be kind and gentle with yourself and realize that this doesn't make you less of a person. It actually adds to you, and you're going to be fine.
Thank you for speaking to that was for my friend Talia Leon, and that's for her son King Magana. I think it's appropriate his name is King, considering what he's going through.
He can also make up amazing stories about how he lost it.
Bar fights.
Oh yeah, you were out swimming and you punched a shark in the eye and got hit with the tail or something crazy like that. Believe me, you can always have fun with it, and like I said, just have a sense of humor about it.
Yes.
And I know as a 3-year-old that's a difficult thing. My grandson is now 6, and You know, I can remember how he was at 3, and they are a lot more intelligent and a lot more knowledgeable than people actually give them credit. They understand. And Mom, smile a lot. Don't make it a bad thing.
And you have a ton of testimonials in this book, and people are inspired by what you have to share, and I guess that must be something that also inspires you to develop this platform and to get the word out about prosthetic eyes with the masses.
It does. Going out and actually asking people for quote-unquote book blurbs or endorsements, that was also a difficult thing. One person that I offered the book to, I said, you know, could you read this for me? And he's like, why would you give this to me? I said, because I've had a prosthetic eye since I was 17. Oh, you did not? No.
Wow.
You did not. You don't have a prosthetic eye, you know. It was
What prosthetic eye?
what are you talking about, you know? So that was kind of funny. And then another person who had just gone through cochlear implants, it was actually Bruce Woodbury, who was a former county commissioner, known for years, and I sent the book over to him. Really wasn't sure what kind of response I would get, because I did not realize that he had just had these cochlear implants for his hearing done. And he even wrote in there, this is great for anybody suffering any kind of a loss. And that was it was just such a nice thing to say and to hear, because I wasn't sure. I didn't really know about that. And then for him to come back and go, you helped me? I mean, this man, I have the utmost respect for. I've known his family for decades, literally. And these people are amazing. And you get that. Mark Hall Patton, who is over all of the museums in town, he's the one that said, oh, you do not. You know, this man has read about everything you can imagine. And I thought he knew everything. He's one of these guys that's got bookcases in front of bookcases, that kind of person. And so for him to make a comment was excellent. I have doctors that have endorsed it, like I said, an ocularist. I've got a couple of psychologists that even endorsed it. So yeah, to give this out, this little book, and say, read this and see what you think, the response has been overwhelming. I've sent out over 170 books to ocularists around the country. I've had people call me from all over the U.S. saying, what about this? What about that? And it's really nice to be able to say, well, you know what? I don't know, but I'll find out. Or, yes, this is how you do this. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. And it's just been amazing. I helped another woman go through not only the loss, she'd been trying to save her eye for over 20 years. One corneal transplant after another, problem, and then she hit the end of the road. And for her, this loss was a great relief, because she doesn't have to do 3 eye drops 4 times a day. She doesn't have to deal with the pain. She had really dark brown eyes, but the eye that was infected looked pale blue because of the corneal transplants. So every time she went out, everybody's like, oh, you have 2 different eyes. You know, so then every time she's going out and she's trying to have a good time, she's being reminded of this. So for her, it was actually a great relief. It took her a while to get to that point. Like I said, you go through the stages of grief, but she's there. She has a new prosthetic. She looks gorgeous, and she's happy. You know, that's the whole thing. It's just trying to, I wouldn't say put it behind you, but put the sadness behind you and want to experience this new life. Because there's not that much different about it. You know, there's certain things you don't want to do. I mean, riding a roller coaster or having anything that's going to put a lot of pressure, it's a bit painful, but there's people that scuba dive, and how they do it is they just take their eye out and they go do what they want to do, and then they come back and, you know. So it's all about your passion in life. Don't lose the passion in life.
Yeah, this is an inspirational book, and I think that a lot of people, whether you have a prosthetic eye or not, can relate to the stories within, and sitting down with Cynthia and talking about her experiences through life and having a prosthetic eye is just very interesting. Will you let the audience know how they can get in contact with you if they'd like to bring you on as a speaker or purchase a book?
Okay. Yes, my email address is just like my book. It's me, myself, and I, which is EYE, book, @gmail.com. Please email me anytime, and if you even want to speak, send along your phone number and I'll call you back as soon as I get a moment. I'm always happy to talk to people and to help them in any way possible.
Thank you so much, Cynthia, for being a part of the show today.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on. You have been great, and this is all new territory for me, so you've made it really wonderful experience. Thank you.
Fun, fun, fun. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, I am going to be interviewing the queen of all media, Miss Corintha Turvalon, talking about her experiences in journalism and how she ended up in that chair there. Stay tuned for more of The Guy Dawson Show.